Okay, aloha everybody.
Aloha.
Just not to be funny, but Miss Rose said that nobody's using bedspread anymore. I have to confess because I still get on bedspread when we renovated Albuquerque Reef in I think 1992 from Pacific Tower, and I still use them. It's good. Comfortable too.
No, when I'm saying hotels, you don't see it as much in hotels. You know, they have all these duvets and what have you.
Triple sheets.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take a couple minutes of your time. Ms. Rose had asked me to kind of just share with you the strategic plan that was put on Unify. And so thank you, Ms. Rose, for putting it on the board. There's really 4 areas that the board is working on. And one of the awesome things about President Sidwell, who is our current president, she's really into transparency. Like, she still wants everybody to see what the goals are and how we're doing, even if we're not hitting that target. She wants it to be transparent. So I'm not going to go through each of the items because they kind of spell out the details of what we're doing, but in membership and growth, it's kind of self-explanatory that our goal is to expand membership and expand international membership. So on that committee, there's a lady named Lynn Webster, who's from the United Kingdom. And the thought is just to get more international members to make our association richer by their wisdom and their experience. Now, it's 2 things we're working on. It's retain and recruit. So in retention, what we're trying to do as the board is just contact all new members by phone, by email, and follow up with them. So we have here a 30-day, after a new member is registered, in 30 days, the chapter president is encouraged to call that person if they haven't yet met them. 60 days, the directors at large calls that person. 90 days, President Sidwell and one of the other executive members call. And we've been doing that since beginning of this year.
These are new members?
New members.
Okay, new members. Let them know, okay? And if they don't call you, let me know.
I wouldn't have put it exactly that way, but it's true. If you didn't get a call, it would be helpful to know because we're trying to work that out. For me, it's been a new experience because calling people in, I didn't understand that people don't see their fellow members. Because I'm an island boy, I don't really realize that some people travel 8 hours to get to a meeting or a location. And for me, it was hard to click. Like, when they say, "Oh, I never went to a meeting," I think to myself, "Wow." Wow, like what? But I got educated about that, and yeah, I guess we know it because we watch TV, but we just didn't realize, or I didn't realize. So this is an important thing to keep people involved. This past winter season, I have Chicago chapter as one of the chapters I get to call, and their weather kept them not only from going to meetings or things like that, but going to work in some cases, and that was an interesting thing for me to really grasp. So that's what we're working on. We're pleased that we're going to have those 1,100 new members, but we still are working really hard to retain our existing members. And in the chapters that I get to participate with, I have 7. A lot of our members are retiring. And as they're retiring, the chapters are struggling to survive. I'm so proud to be from the Hawaii chapter because,
Big group.
yeah, not every chapter has a Rose Galera, somebody so driven, yeah? And I think we're fortunate to have that, but it's just something we gotta work on. Okay, the next area. Do you have some?
Yeah.
We gotta scroll down.
And if you want a copy of this, I can send you, or you can go Unify, whatever. The next section, I'll just continue on. The next section is education, and there's 4 things that we're committed to. One was updating the frontline program. So we accomplished that. We were supposed to present it at the last convention, but it didn't make it to publication. It didn't make it to the printer and come out. Okay. So the frontline program is one thing that we have completed to update. We didn't present it at convention last year. It was a last minute thing we chose not to because it didn't go to the printers and it wasn't ready to distribute. So we changed it at convention. The other thing we're trying to do with our chapters is promote virtual access it doesn't really apply for us because we're so close to each other, we can actually see each other. But in chapters where they're 8 hours or 10 hours from each other, we're trying to help them with virtual access so that they can get their educational sessions and get their meetings. We have been doing boot camps in the mainland. Most recently there was one in Florida, and that's going pretty good actually. And then chapter meetings, unlike us, we're really fortunate. Unlike us, there's a lot of chapters really struggle to actually do that. Of the 7 chapters I get, about 4 of them, for their chapter meetings, lucky to get 3 people in that meeting. So that's an ongoing problem about their networking. So we're just trying to come up with ways that we can help them get the educational piece of the meeting, even if they cannot necessarily meet. We're asking everybody if you have any educational resources, like if there's something you made in your hotel that you use to train your staff that is not proprietary to your brand or to your hotel itself, that if you're willing to share it, then we were gonna put it on the website so that other locations can use that to help them to train their staff or to train themselves in some cases. 8 is benchmarks. We're coming up with a resource, and actually that's something that in our education committee we're responsible for. We're putting together a benchmark resource for hotels, hospitals, commercial buildings, and government buildings, so that you will have an opportunity to use that as a resource to compare yourself against others in your same field to figure out like how long does it take to clean a floor or make a room or whatever the task may be. So actually that's one thing I was going to ask the OA chapter help with, because since we're a large hospitality group, we could take the hospitality benchmark to lead the questions and the format, what we'd like to see in it. So I'll give you more information about that soon. The last, we have information resources. That I don't know as much about. It's really just what the association office is doing to get our name out there. But the one that I think is really exciting for us is the Best Western. And there's another hotel chain, much like Best Western, that we cannot talk about the name yet, but there's another hotel chain that is looking for that same agreement where we would sign an agreement with them to train their housekeeping staff. Okay? And
if I may say something, I haven't been in the program of the association a long time. I'm glad that they're going to Best Western and the others, but not, don't do it for membership and affect our certification program. I think, they need to look at, if you want to come or tie in the front line to tie in, because front line is supervisor as well, maybe upgrade it, but I don't want to see our REH program really be downgraded just so that we can bring in members. I think that's wrong.
how do you see it downgraded? I just want to be clear.
Well, like you said, they're gonna do it so that it fits for the Best Western, okay? And I guess Best Western may have different levels of hotels. I don't know if they have budget, deluxe, and I don't know if they have the high quality type hotels. But our REH program has been there for a long time, has been upgraded a number of times, but I think needs to even be stayed on top of again. But I don't want to see it be brought down just so that we bring in Best Western executive housekeepers or housekeeping managers or other hotels. I think that's wrong.
I think I hear what you're saying, and I think the answer to that, as I understand it, is actually, I think our CEH-RH program is more robust than what they're getting. What they're getting, like in our program, we cover a variety of different things. Yeah? So like, let's say pest control, for example, right? So we talk about pest control from almost any facility type. Theirs will be specifically to their facility type. So I think our program is more robust than what theirs is going to be. Theirs is kind of condensed to specifically speak to their cleaning processes.
So I don't want to see a Best Western executive housekeeper carry CEH, and no. I have CEH. And
no, they're not.
Okay.
Their certification is different. I'm not sure what they're going to resolve as the credential, but theirs is different. You got to think of it more as we are being hired as a consultant to train all of their housekeeping staff or their housekeeping managers for their brand standards. So how I look at it is we're being hired to help them with that.
Well, I'm looking at it as housekeeping in the hospitality industry, and you know, pretty much no matter what hotel you go into, it should be pretty much the same in your knowledge and all of that. Cleaning is a science and an art, and I wish that, and I hope that they do promote it that way as well.
Yeah. So I think you'll be pleased to know that that's not going to be the end for them. They'll be encouraged. Like right now, we're pushing for the Master CH
Yes.
and Master RH. So they will be encouraged to take that as their baseline, and then they can get those other certifications.
So where
as
does
well.
the front line come in, though? Where does the front line come in? Because I'm familiar with the front line as well. For those of you, we have different certification programs. We have the front line program for frontline people, and it is at a high end, and supervisors. And then there's the CEHREH, the certification program.
So
Yeah.
right now, they don't see the frontline program as you know, right, in our last call. I have a different opinion about it, but the frontline is separate from the certification programs, yeah? So it could be one day that those could be joined, but that's not how it is now. So two separate things.
Okay.
But the Best Western, it's about just providing them training, because some of these hotels, they're just independent owners. Maybe they had no previous experience in housekeeping. They run a small property, so I'm actually proud that IEHA is helping them, because I think that's what we're supposed to be, right? The go-to people for housekeeping. But it doesn't minimize our credentials. In fact, I think it kind of adds to it, because I tend to look at it like they want to be
As long
like
as they're not
us.
going to be on the same level as I am.
Nobody's gonna do that as long as I like. Everybody heard? Not
I want to
possible.
see them carry a CEH.
There's been a lot of talk about what is their credential gonna be. I don't know the answer to it yet because it's not yet resolved, but it's not gonna be that.
And right after this, we're going to show you, Angela and I are going to show you what we mean with reference to the certification program.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can see the target dates for there, this is one of the things that is really taking up a lot of the focus of IEHA's Association Office right now to prepare, because by fourth quarter 2014, the first group will have gone through and completed. And they're all spread out over the continental US. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting is another word for scary sometimes. But that's taking the focus right now. But I think it's really, I think that's awesome. And there is another hotel chain that is interested in working on the same kind of thing. Yes.
I think it's really good for hotels going transition from one hotel to a brand. And if you're that executive housekeeper who never had the brand exposure, it's very, very difficult to start the process of branding or learning the brand. So if the IEHA can help her to understand what is a brand, it makes it.
Well, when I'm looking at institutional or professional housekeeping as a brand that should be raised even to.
Yeah, but it is understanding what is their brand, because many of them they don't know. And I speak from experience, because coming from a non-brand to a brand, you have to even be able to know this is your brand standard books. You open it up, go to page, whatever.
No, and I understand that too. But I like you, I've gone through a lot of experiences. I've done budget, deluxe, luxury, and all of that. And so, I still, to me, from a budget to a deluxe or whatever, you still need to know professional cleaning, on a level that's pretty much that, as a science and an art.
Yeah, but you're right. I wouldn't want them to have the same kind of certification that I always sweat. Not blood, but I always sweat a lot to get.
And for those of you who are not, I've done the boot camp at the conventions, where I've proctored people through the exams so that they become certified and registered. And those who are registered, yes, they got their degree, behind them as well. But I've watched, those who are certified, and some of them I felt they needed more time, in fact, to become certified as well. If I can even throw some questions out here, how many of you understand with today the technology of water? We have electrolyzed water, we have ionized water, we have all the different kinds of water that we deal with that ties in with cleaning. A lot of our people are not into that as well. I feel from a certified level we should be, and so the brands are going to be, Western are going to be cleaning with water to, with the chemicals that they work and what have you.
I think, like Charles was saying, this is significant because I think one thing for us to recognize is they're coming to IEHA, us, right, to ask us, how do we do this? And we're responding as experts, if you will, in our industry, right? And I think that's like amazing for us.
No, I think it's great, but I hope they don't bring down that level.
No. So they're recognizing how important it is to understand what we do. Yeah, I think that's very significant. So the last one is bylaws, and I serve with Anna on bylaws as co-chairs. We didn't have any proposals so far. So there's no real updates in that area. Any questions? No?
Any questions? Any of you have any recommendations that you'd like to see the association go through for for the future, or for how you feel with our profession? Make your recommendations. We can send it in. Brian's a good one to take it to. They're going to have a board meeting, right? Pretty soon.
I have a question.
Yes.
The frontline program that will be completed and ready for 2014, is it only going to be in the mainland, or will it be online?
No. So thank you. Very good question. So what we're trying to do with all of the educational programs is put them online. The CH program is now online. And in the future, what the idea is to give you a Kindle. So instead of, those of you that took it in the past, you got those 2 big binders, right? Instead of getting that, you'll either do it online, or you will, if you buy the materials, you'll get it on a Kindle, and you'll do it on the Kindle for your certification, which is pretty cool, right? And you get the Kindle, then it's cheaper than the way it is now. Believe that. So that's the first one. The frontline program, when it goes through that process, it too will be online. So the idea is that you could have your team member sit at a computer and go through those sections. And thank you, Diane, Rose. They were a part of helping to rewrite it. We rewrote it here in Hawaii, that's why. And we sent it, so it went for review. Okay.
Are they going to do the frontline as they do the certification program by modules? Because the frontline manual to read for a frontline person, to me, can be a problem.
Yes. So in our rewrite, we broke it down into sections to make it easier, and we took out some of the old references to dated things. We took it out to kind of bring it current. It's not perfection, but it's an improvement, and I think it'll help. But to answer that, I think it depends on us too, right? When we put somebody, if we're gonna let them do it on a computer, when we sit them down, we help them connect the dots sometimes. Yeah? I think that's an important piece.
Okay.
Did that answer your question there? Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much for attending today. Good to see all of you. Sorry I was late.
No, no problem. I understand.